This night has been wild, you guys. Two haunts down and just one to go.
Yeah, the Badlands were pretty badass. It's some bullshit the police shut down the park. Damn pigs.
Seriously, man. And we didn't even get our fucking beer.
What?
Well, at least you two got to see the damn park. I was stuck changing the fucking tire.
Dude, chill. We're already here. It's not like you're missing out on anything.
The Blue Skeleton. Seriously? The name sounds like this place will be trash.
Right? That name is just. Wait. Fuck?
What is it, SoCal? You see TJ or Zom?
What? Nah, man. It's that same chick from the last stop.
You're back at Hellfest? You think she followed us here?
Hey, man. If that's her, I don't blame her. She must have got to look at me and wants to say, "What's up? Hey, baby."
I mean, if you want to go for it, Dime, be my guest. It could just be someone else with the same cheap ass mask.
All I know is there's no way I'm missing another haunt, so I'm just gonna head in.
Yeah, I'm with Michael, dude. Let's just go, Dime. If she's following you, she'll just follow us inside.
Damn, I hope she does.
What is up, freaks and geeks, and welcome back to the final guys right here on Corpses for Conversation podcast on another episode of our month-long journey of this hauntathon. You've already seen what has met the fate of a few of our past final guys, so let's see what this next episode has in store for us. Today, I am accompanied by the one and only Dimebag the Clown,
You ever see a zombie shoot a gun?
Michael,
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
and I, everyone's favorite massacre man, SoCal Leatherface. Dude, you look like you're jerking off an elephant. So let's open up that casket, see what's on the slab, and let this disposal begin. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about the house's October bill.
Tell me about yourself and what are we doing?
You want my name? My name is Zach. You've known me for 20 years, Mikey. I've rented an RV. I want to find the most extreme haunted house in the world.
What is an extreme haunt? I don't understand how far you really can go on without hurting somebody.
What's your name, buddy? Hi, Mikey.
What's the camera for? Are you doing crime stoppers or cops or something?
We're doing To Catch a Predator.
To catch a predator? I gotta go.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the first, second. Yeah, I mean, we are in the heart of October. And like the movie quotes, every October, over 30 million people visit Halloween haunted houses. And this movie is a found footage type mockumentary that I think they were trying to pass off as like a Blair Witch project, like making us believe that this really happened. Getting into that haunted season and what the people that work at these haunts actually go through. The first film came out in 2014. Did any of you guys see this movie prior to this review?
I believe I saw it right when it came out. It came out straight to DVD.
Oh, it is a surprise.
And I think I picked it up at Walmart for like $5. That was probably the worst pickup I ever got, bro. Because I remember when it first came out, it was labeled as the Houses of Halloween. And then they changed the name to Houses October Bill. They should have called it The Houses of Shit.
Just that shit, Bill. How about you, Michael? Have you seen this one?
I didn't even know about it until it was mentioned, and then I watched it on YouTube for free. So, but I didn't spend any money on it.
I still have the DVD right in front of me. And
Walmart has those $5 bins, and this is exactly, I guess, where that movie belongs.
yes, it does.
I'm thinking it's more one of those Dollar Tree bins.
Yeah, see, I used to collect those too, like go to the really cheap discount stores and get them just for like the digital codes and try to like slang them later.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was definitely a decent plot at first. You know, they go on a road trip, you know, to visit these haunted houses, haunted attractions. You know, that's a pretty good plot to it, but it just lacked focus. The acting was horrible. You really didn't give a shit about the actors. I don't know what happened. It just fell off, dude.
And ladies and gentlemen, in case if you're wondering, in true Halloween spooky season fashion, for this party, I went ahead and I spiked the punch. I got to admit it, with a little bit of that haterade.
Well, don't shed a tear, Haterade is here. The new Haterade Thirst Quencher non-fruit juice comes equipped with 30 milligrams of potassium, 14 grams of carbohydrates, and 100% haterism.
And I think everyone's taken a fair amount, so if you hear a lot of hate, I guess blame it on the haterade.
Oh, there's so much haterade, spiked haterade in this that even Lemmy would be proud of it.
I had to drink Haterade straight up. No Coke.
Now, if there had to be things I did like about this film, I thought that those news reports were kind of true when they were interviewing people about haunts and the shady things that go on during haunts, especially because this film takes place, looks like in rural Texas. They're on a road trip, but they're going just through Texas to all like the worst parts, try to find the most shady, I guess, haunted attractions that they could find. And honestly, guys, I think that that's stuff that really goes down.
Yeah, I mean, you had the reports of the clown sightings back in that, like, what was it, 2014? Wasn't that around the clown sighting era? You know, around that time?
Yeah.
Sightings are happening across the country, and it's no laughing matter. There are concerns that the trend will grow as Halloween approaches.
It's a trend spooking the nation, creepy clown sightings. Now they're threatening school districts. Police and Homeland Security are investigating scary Instagram posts. The posts from over the weekend all use the word clown. Some even talk about blowing up schools. Children told police that clowns tried luring them into woods by offering money. Since then, sightings keep increasing.
The killer clown times.
Yeah, so, you know, had those news reports of the clown sightings and, you know, the haunts, you know, people dying, people getting injured, people getting stabbed. There's still reports to this day. You know, I just saw a report the other day on the news about a rapist working at a haunt, and they just arrested him. So, I mean, yeah stuff like that does happen.
This stuff is real. This stuff is real. And I thought originally watching this the same as you, Dime, that maybe they based the premise of this film off of those killer clowns that we had going around places terrorizing people randomly. This movie's actually inspired by a documentary that Bobby Rowe made 3 years earlier to this film with the same premise of wanting to go around and find the best local haunts. Maybe he showed people and they were like, hey, this would be a really cool movie if you spice it up a bit, try to make it a little scary. But much like the Blair Witch, we got a cast of just 5 people. This is the entire premise. We got 5 people in an RV traveling all over Texas trying to find the scariest haunts. And along the way, some of these haunters are just kind of following them everywhere that they go, which is part of the creepiness vibe that I really like from this film. When they're terrorizing them when they're sleeping, they're sneaking into their RV and using their cameras, intentionally leaving it there for them to find. It did have some good scares, in my opinion, in those times.
I don't have anything good to say about this movie. I mean, there was maybe like 1 or 2 bits that I liked throughout it. The one shot when it goes dark and then it lights up and you see the crowd of people that have just been following them and they freak out. And then also towards the end when they like start picking them off. But besides that, this movie has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. First off, strike one, found footage film. There's never been the good found footage film outside of maybe the Blair Witch Project, maybe Paranormal Activity, the first one, but that's strike one. Strike two, none of the characters are likable. They all just say like the most college frat boy douchey things. No one, that's not realistic either. Like it's just some goofy type stuff. That's strike two. Strike three, no really memorable like bad guys or villains of the haunts or like any of these guys following him. Like you can't pick one out of the crowd except maybe the one girl that they picked up that had that kind of ghost mask that started screaming.
Mm. Yeah, like she gets in the RV and sits down and just screams and then gets up and walks out. It's just like, what's going on here? Like, you're right. It's the writing. I don't even think that they had a script, to be honest with you. This looks like they just sat there, had the camera rolling, and then just said, let's pretend like we're fighting with each other. And then they just start going with it.
Well, you want to talk
It-
about lazy writing. I mean, you go back to my opening quote. You ever see a zombie shoot a gun? Yeah, I have. It's called Day of the Dead and Land of the Dead. And they're like, no, I've never seen a zombie shoot a gun before. Nah, dude, you're making a horror movie. Do your goddamn homework.
If there is
Jesus
another
freaking
redeemable
Christ.
part of this film, Dime, Michael, what did you guys think about the zombie strip club?
Oh,
We actually had a strip club that themed zombie theme. The strippers were zombies.
oh, we need that over here, man, in California, bro. Damn.
Pretty sure that's just a.
That's the
I'm pretty
Texas,
sure that's a standard strip club in Florida.
right? I know the Bath Salt Lounge over in Florida.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Yeah,
See,
but,
I know for a fact that we have reviewed better movies than this in the past, but for some reason, and I'm not sure why, this movie actually got a 60% on the Rotten Tomato meter. This
oh my
movie is
God.
actually not considered a Rotten Tomato.
Mind you,
I mean-
this is why we don't go off of Rotten Tomatoes.
See? Now we're learning. This is exactly why.
So, ladies
Now-
and gentlemen, if you see Rotten Tomatoes, they give it the Rotten Tomatoes gives it a low score. That means it's probably a pretty good movie. They give it a high score, the movie is shit.
See, that's why you always gotta look into what the fans think. Now, the fans only gave it a 31. And I guess I can kind of agree with that because, like I said, there is some spooky things when, like Michael had mentioned, when they're in front of the RV, when they turn on the lights. That was actually pretty, if you put yourself in that situation, that I don't want to be there. When they're just in there and all the lights go out and you hear all that pounding on the sides, that would scare the shit out of me personally. I don't know. I'm not that brave.
Yeah, that was the best part of the
So-
movie. When Michael said, when the girl walks into the RV, looking like, our friend, everybody knows her, Spooky Professor, playing her pole character. That's what she pretty much looked like with that mask on, and she's kind of looking around, and then just starts screaming. Oh man, that one got me. But the whole knocking on the side of the RV, and they open the door and there's nobody there. Yeah, that was pretty creepy. Other than that, the film just falls off completely.
See, and I'm glad that you mentioned that mask because that mask was actually made by Immortal Masks, and a lot of the cosplayers that we know in our local area, and I'm sure all over the place, go to Immortal Masks for their masks. And I got a chance to see them at Midsummer Scream, and I got a chance to talk with them, and they had told me about how they had made this mask and how they were talking with the guy who made it, how they went ahead and made a deal so they can go ahead and put it in there and have that be the cover mask for the film. It's a pretty cool mask. It does look like some type of like doll, but you have like that little one strand of hair like Jason Voorhees or something. It definitely is the best mask of the film, in my opinion.
Only memorable character, and you say you like that part. I can't. It's memorable, but that's just kind of cringy. Like when she just comes on, cringy because it was like they were trying to be edgy. Just comes on, screams, and leaves like nothing really happens.
And this movie was low budget when the director and the producer are both like actors that were in the film themselves. Bobby Rowe, who played himself in the film, all these people played themselves. And Zach Andrews were both the director and the producer and the screenwriters of this film. So you're working way under the umbrella. You got people wearing multiple hats. If there is anybody that's of a memorable name, because I haven't heard of any of these people prior to this film, is the producer, who's Steven Schneider, who worked on the Insidious franchise, Knock at the Cabin by M. Night Shyamalan, and the Paranormal Activity franchise. Like, he's the only familiar name that I was able to get.
Those are pretty some pretty solid titles right there too, as well. But Bobby Rowe, man, he should be embarrassed by his work right here. He needs to be decertified from being a writer or director or anything. Because wow, I mean, mind you, this is being your first film working on it, but damn, we as a group, we could probably make a better movie than Houses of October built. And I'm throwing that challenge out there right now.
I think I've had friends that have made a better film, man. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get the Dimebag the Clown and give him his debut. Put your face on the cover.
Hey man, if I could talk Haunted Hayride and then letting us work, go in early and do some shoots in there, that'll be amazing.
That's a good location.
Yeah.
Same premise. People go into a theme park, haunted theme park. They get picked off one by one. We can get the 5 basic teens, usual suspects, and yeah, let's take them out one by one.
Hell yeah.
As long as we don't make it like that and just film it on an iPhone,
Oh.
get an actual movie.
Believe it or not, actually did get a sequel. What? The first one had somewhat success at the time. They did win one award at like an indie film festival, and it gave them, I guess,
Must have been a slow year at the indie film festival.
Here to report the crime.
yeah, it gave them what they needed to go ahead and try to make a second. But the second one flopped even further. Both of these movies don't even feel like I'm watching movies. It feels like I'm watching a really long YouTube video. Because I watch a lot of YouTube and I watch vloggers. And I feel like I'm just watching a really long YouTube video, but not even an entertaining one. Second film is worse than the first. It couldn't even capture my attention. If there was one thing I had to give it praise for, is that in the first movie, they focused strictly on the haunts. And in the second movie, they did focus more on other things that are actual activities people can do during October. They had a zombie run, which I've heard that people do, where it's actually like they mix up flag football, like people wear flags, and then also just like a jogging kind of obstacle course. And if the zombies pull off your flag, you're dead. The zombie apocalypse type thing. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. As well as just a typical beer fest type festival for October, like an Oktoberfest. Those are all cool things that go on during the month of October. Yeah, the zombie pub crawl. See, those are things that I gave it praise for. Like, yeah, let people know about the other fun things that you can look into in October, see if these things are going on in your area.
In San Diego, they did a zombie run at Petco Park one time, and that I wanted to do. I think it was like right when Walking Dead came out, when it first started. And then I know they have zombie pub crawls in like Long Beach, and I'm not sure if they did one here in Huntington Beach, but I know like around October, around Halloween, you can find a lot of that going on.
In case you freaks and geeks are wondering, we are, most of us at least, located in Southern California. We got a lot of, Santa Monica, Long Beach, all that stuff action going on. I know in downtown Riverside, they used to have something that they would call the Zombie Crawl as well. It was an event they would hold every year in October. I'm not sure if they still do it. I stopped looking into it. But they would have people show up as zombies or whatever costume you want, and they would basically do a little march around, downtown Riverside. They had costume contests, kids can get candy. It's all that. It's wholesome.
Yeah.
They didn't want people to be too scared. No scare actors. But these events do go on. Now, one of the most disappointing things, guys, in these films, for me, being someone that can appreciate the gore in a film, is that both of these films had no gore. What? Both of these films, if we want to just jump straight into the kill count, is non-existent. We got 2 films that runs a length of at least probably 4 hours total, and we get 0 kills.
Nobody freaking dies. It's a horror movie. Nobody freaking dies.
I mean, they might. We just don't know because they cut the camera off right before anything happens. Like, oh, dramatic effect, turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the first one, they did better in the first one. Like Michael was saying, they made it look as if people could die. And you're wondering, oh, what's going to happen? Did these people, get got? And they could have just left it. They would have not made a sequel. They could have left it right there. But then they did make a sequel. And just so you know, Michael, where the sequel starts, they show the police come in right when that final girl is about to be buried. That's how the whole movie ends. She's being buried. The cops stop the guy from burying her. They save her and all of her friends. And now they have to deal with like this PTSD of the scary thing that happened last year at Halloween. But over that time, their found footage made them YouTube famous. And now they're saying, hey, guys, we should get together again and go look at more spooky stuff. And I'm like, dude, if I survived being attacked by, crazy people in costumes and they're going to kill me and my friends, I don't want to go do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, let's go do the exact same thing. It's wild, dude.
At first, she's apprehensive about it, but then she's like, okay, well, they're going to pay me $5,000 more or something. Yeah. Okay, fine, I'll do it. It's like, really? That's not how PTSD works.
I mean, but money is a powerful thing, man.
$20 bill. All right, you got me.
All right, I'll do it. I'm in.
And this character, the blue skeleton, Like, dude, it looks like they bought that mask at like the 99-cent store. Not even a real character, man. It's just like the whole blue skeleton haunt or whatever the hell it was. And
With nobody dying, this just makes me think of the actual realistic haunted houses they have. Like that one guy who, it's a free haunted house, you could say. You have to sign a waiver, and he basically like tortures you for a few hours. And if you make it through, you win. I think it was $1,000, $10,000, something like that.
McKinney Manor.
I just like to entertain folks. I'm just Russ.
Get those hands up. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? It's all over for you, okay?
Russ is just a good guy. I'm not what you think.
Get him up.
Have I told you numerous times that you don't want to take this tour?
I'm done with the laughing.
Right?
So McKinney Manor is actually a survival horror boot camp experience.
It's like if you don't make it through, you just have to buy him like 2 bags of dog food because he
That's
runs like a animal something.
Yeah, that's McKinney Manor.
Wow.
They disbanded him because of all the shit that they would do to people. And he got rid of, he doesn't do it no more, but somebody bought the name.
I was gonna say, like, that sounds, it's exactly what this movie is. It's just a bad haunt of some guy basically just torturing you because no one died. They
That
probably
bad extreme haunt.
You could probably create this exact same thing of like, all right, sign this waiver, and for 1 week we're gonna send like 20 guys to follow you and mess with you.
Yeah, you know what? I actually watched a documentary, and I believe this is it right here. It's Haunters, The Art of the Scare.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a free documentary you could watch over most streaming platforms. You could probably find it on YouTube as well if you guys are interested. They do have in one part a guy, which I'm not sure if it's the same you had mentioned, but every year he sets up this extreme haunt in his like backyard, and he gets his neighbors to come on down and people, and he like takes it super far, and he'll like put your head underwater and just make you terrified and just scare the shit out of you. And I'm just
They were forcing you to eat.
He doesn't give you
food.
anything. He force you to eat.
And then,
Oh,
like,
man.
if you throw up, you have to eat your own vomit. It's just like, oh, dude. Yeah.
And they didn't even get nothing. They don't get no $1,000. They didn't even get a fucking t-shirt. They get nothing. They just get the pride of knowing that they got for a little while and survived.
Pat on the back.
I mean, hell,
send you on your way.
yeah, dude, look at it. They wrap your face with that cellophane wrap. You know what I mean? To make it so you can't breathe. It's wild, dude.
We got 17th Door that does the same stuff. Like, I mean, at least they have a mercy rule where, like, if you don't want to do the trap or whatever, you can say mercy and skip on to the next room.
Mhm.
They do the same thing where they suffocate you, they'll throw bugs on you, they'll drown you. I don't think it's as bad as McKinney Manor.
I have an idea for a business venture. We're going to have people pay us $20 and we're going to waterboard them for an hour.
Hell yeah. Easy money. It's the way.
You survive, you get a t-shirt.
Have our faces on it.
Just sign over all your assets just in case you pass. Oh, dude. Yeah, this is a rough one, man. This film, this was a rough one to get through.
You know what these movies reminded me of? Remember Spike TV? But like, Michael, you're young. I don't remember.
I remember Spike TV. I watch 1,000 Ways to Die all the time.
Reminds me of watching Spike TV at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. This is the kind of shit that they would put on there. Like, oh, look at this. We're going to a zombie run. Let's go check it out. And, have naked women, stupid
Yeah,
music.
this definitely could have been like some type of show rather than being this whole motion picture film. It didn't need to happen, basically.
Oh, it could have just been a YouTube video.
That's basically what it was to me. I watched it on YouTube.
See, because it fits there. It's like, if you watch it on YouTube, it fits there exactly where it should be.
Yeah, it just wasn't scary at all, man. It's just, I was bored the whole time watching this movie. Both movies.
I've seen TikTok skits scarier.
I know, I guess this was supposed to be like, the blue skeleton is supposed to be some type of cult. And there's this group of people, and they're always traveling, which is why it's really hard to find them. But these people are determined to want to seek them out so they can, I guess, hopefully find the scariest haunted house. And I mean, they almost died for it, so I guess they found it. But I like how the blue skeleton, disappears and they're able to escape. If one of them gets caught, they just kind of like leave them behind. They like swear their life to it, like, we'll never reveal our secrets. It's kind of ridiculous.
Make sure it kind of suppresses that. So,
all right, so this film, House October Built. The first one goes about 1 hour and 32 minutes, but you literally have to wait an hour before anything actually happens. The whole beginning is just them bullshitting around and getting into like ridiculous trouble, I guess. The shit doesn't actually hit the fan until after an hour, and that's just too long for me. I hate having to wait. That's a slow burn, and I'm
Very
not really into slow burns. You know what I mean? You know what doesn't make any sense when I watched, and I'm just like, I still can't figure it out, is that when they finally got access to this blue skeleton inn, they open up their trailer door and they find a pumpkin. And they're like, hey, we should bring this into the trailer. And what should we do with this pumpkin? I'm like, you should carve it. Okay. They try to carve it, they open it up, and there's a note inside the pumpkin. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, I don't know. It's a supernatural force that they're dealing with here, people.
Acting is horrible. The cinematography was crap.
Yep.
Dude, like the whole story writing, like, yeah, it started out great, you know, road trip, let's go to haunted attractions, but it just lacks that charisma of the story writing. Can't have these five friends that you really don't give a shit about. Obviously, they didn't really give a shit about each other. Like, you could tell they were just in there for the money as an actor, and they just had no chemistry between them. You just wanted them to die, basically. But
unlikable characters.
Nobody dies.
But nobody dies. I know. See, if they would have ended it and left it with the first one, we would have been like, hey, cool, they all died. That's it.
You know,
And they could have played off like the Blair Witch and been like, hey, this is real found footage. These people were never heard of again. I heard that when the Blair Witch came out, they legit like paid those people to make it appear that they were dead for at least 2 or 3 years after the film was released.
Yeah,
like they actually had missing posters up.
Yeah, their families were
online.
like going to FBI. Was like, I need to find my child. You know?
Yeah, like they were saying is deceased online. So they did it better for the Blair Witch than this one. Now, something in the second film, Dime, I thought that you'd be able to appreciate is that they go to a hayride. I was like, there's Dimebag and his haunted hayride, man.
So I've only seen the second one time, and like I said, it was just more of the same with the first one. In a way, I kind of enjoyed the second one a little bit better than the first one, but it's just horrible acting.
Like the best parts about the first one were those news reports. Like I said, I thought those were real. But I found out that they're all just, they're acted out. They're all scripted. But I wouldn't put it past it for those things actually happening. So like we said, Freaks and Geeks, this movie for its gore score, it's got to get an obvious 0. Are we in agreement with that?
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, there's 0 gore.
There's really not much you can say more about this movie. It's just, you want a better scare, go watch Hell House, LLC. Way better movie. Focuses more on haunted attractions. People actually die in this one, so it's like I'm starting to worry about myself. I'm actually starting to worry about myself. It's like I brought up people dying way too much today. Yeah, maybe I should get checked out.
Like that's all I need is people dying. How's the storyline? It doesn't matter. People died. And the kill count. Again, a tragic 0. We got 0 deaths in both these films. This is a sad day for the final guys.
Dies.
All of these guys were final guys. They all survived.
Can you really call yourself a horror movie if nobody dies? I don't think so.
I mean, like they're trying to go for suspense, Even if you think about The Strangers, which I say is one of the best suspense type films, the first one, at least they die in the end. So you get that little bit of a payoff, a little bit of a reward for watching it. But that's an actual entertaining movie. You guys just want to go ahead and skip straight on to your scores for this film? For both of these films, let's just go ahead and just sum both of these films up into one and just go ahead and give your final thoughts on this film and go ahead and give it a score between, I don't know, 1 to 5 haunted houses. I'm going to start with Michael.
Fortunately, I would rate it a 0, but if 1 is the lowest I can go, I'm going to have to go with a 1. Like I said many times throughout this whole thing, unlikable characters, unrealistic dialogue, no kills, no blood, no nothing. It was a long Snapchat story, a TikTok skit. That's all it was.
Hey man, got to agree. And how about you, Dimebag?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a lover of Halloween, of haunted attractions. I thought this movie was going to be great. It's focused on Halloween. It's focused on haunted attractions, but it was just horrible. I can't do it. I would never rewatch these movies ever again. I would give it probably a 1.
So now for myself, I have to piggyback off what, my 2 buddies here had to say. This film It's not memorable. There's no likable characters. You are waiting for everybody to die, and it will keep you waiting for a very long time before anything happens. Then when it does, you're just hoping that they will die. So you have
I'm still
something to
waiting.
see and cheer about, but you never get it. And you know what you get instead? A sequel. And you say, okay, fine. Now they're going to correct their mistake and they're going to kill them really brutally this time. They're going to learn from their mistakes. They did not. They gave us another near 2 hours of just a really long YouTube video, some type of adventure type stuff. Like I said, if you had to give this film any praise at all, it's just that it does talk about some of the things that you could do during the month of October. You can go to haunted houses, you could look for all these other events. That's about it. But these characters that they chose to be the lead for these videos were just unlikable. They were uninteresting. The storylines were boring and it had no gore. It had no kills. It gave me nothing. So, unfortunately for me, too, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and just give this movie a 1. If any of you freaks and geeks have not seen this film, you're really not missing anything. If you want to watch it because you love October like we do too, and you just want to have one more thing and something to say about it, give us your own opinions, then by all means, go ahead and dig into this. I think we can all agree here on this panel today that.
Yeah, and I actually heard they want to make a third one, but they want to do like an origin story on the third one. So.
Oh, wow. I mean, if you want to. If you want to. Honestly, I would probably try peeking at it, but the second it gets boring, I'm just going to turn it off. I'm not going to take another hour and 45 out of my life watching another sequel to this. Yeah, man, nothing at all, no payoff. So I guess we're all in agreement with this, is that this film's not going to get any resurrections for many of us. We're all about ready to put that last nail in the coffin, right?
Oh yeah, that's just getting buried.
Film has been officially buried and sealed with concrete on top of it from your final guys here tonight. I guess that about wraps it up, gentlemen. Thank you guys for getting through this rough one with us. We can't always review the best movies. We also have to review the indie films, which sometimes can be really great. Unfortunately, this one just didn't cut it. Signing off here from Corpses for Conversation, I'm in the studio with...
I'm Baby Clown.
Michael Hardesty.
I am SoCal Leatherface. So freaks and geeks, always remember, be kind and rewind.
Well, that was a total waste. I seriously could have just missed this and had a better time all by myself.
Hey, man, I think they heard you. That dude in the mask is running over here.
Well, hey, put me down, asshole. It's not my fault you sucked at your job.
What the fuck was that? We got all the way through their weak-ass haunt, and they still just don't know when to quit. Let's just get out of here, Dime.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't that great, but I think I'm going to just stay here.
Why the fuck would you do that?
They could always use another clown, and I'm going to try to hook up with that chick in the mask. She's kind of hot.
Dude, you don't even know what she looks like. Under that mask, she could be a crackhead with no teeth.
No teeth? All the better. It's been a while, man. I'm down for whatever at this point.
Fucking Dime. You know what? Fine. After all the shit that we've been through tonight, I just want to get home. Just give me the keys.
It has been a long night. Here's the keys, brother. Don't use all my gas, though.
Just be sure to find Michael, man. I'll catch you later, Dime. What the fuck? Oh. What? Hey, what the fuck is going on here? Dime? Michael! Somebody get me out of here!